back on a beach and I'm still in Wales. So the weather's a little bit different than last time though, isn't it? Look at that, give you a bit of a view. So I've come quite a long way along the North Wales coast, down towards that headland there is the Llyn Peninsula. So Caernarfon is just up that way, and Snowdon's over there, the Snowdonian range. But I've come to photograph the beach and get those hills, mountains in the background. Got about, sorry, I'll show you the sun. Got about an hour and 20, an hour and a half before the sun goes down. So I'm just going to have a bit of a stroll up the beach and see if I can find any. I know what in the background. I'll see if I can find anything in the foreground, maybe some rocks or some driftwood or something like that. But yeah, it's looking good so far. I've come about 100, 200 yards down the beach, and I've just stopped because there's a couple of pieces of seaweed just on the beach. It's a really clean beach, which is great, but just a couple of pieces of seaweed, which adds a little bit of foreground interest. But I'm actually, I'm heading around that way. I'll tell you why in a second. But I just wanted to take a couple of shots here, just to kind of get my eye in a bit before. So the sun's probably another an hour yet before it's down. So we're going to get some nice colours, I think. I always like to take some shots in advance, just to get my eye in and start thinking about the composition a little bit. And the reason I'm going to go further round the beach is, hopefully you can see this, the bay swings round that way. So if I took images down there, the shape of the bay would mean that the main line in the image, being the kind of the waves coming in, would lead out of the image and then back. Well, actually, I think if I get further round into the kind of the angle of the beach, hopefully I can then set up an image where the curve of the beach is leading the eye round more into those hills in the background. But we'll see when we get there. Sorry if the sun's shining at you a bit, but I'll just show you what I'm doing here. Just a bit of a play. So it's a beautiful beach. The seaweed I mentioned down in the lower third, and I'm underexposed. I'm on f/16 just to try and get a little bit of movement in the waves. I've got a polarizer on just to add a bit of depth of colour in the sky and take a little bit of the reflection off this, because obviously this is a kind of highly reflective surface. But I'm just underexposing a little bit. The clouds look quite nice. I think let's have a look, see what that came out like. Yeah, it's not bad. Not bad at all. But I'm just getting my eye in. So can't see anybody else on the beach. It's July, not a single person on the beach other than me. So I'm going to wander around a bit further. I can see a rock in the distance. I'll see what that's like. It might work out. But otherwise, I'm going to use the water as the foreground interest, because these are lovely. You know, the waves aren't too harsh, but get some nice movement. So I'm going to head in that direction as the sun goes down. Some good colours. I came closer to what I thought was a rock, but it's turned out just to be a big clump of seaweed. I'm going to be careful. Yeah, it's just a nice big clump of seaweed. So I'm using it. The reason I'm being careful is there's beautiful reflections on the sand, and what I don't want to do is put some footprints straight to the seaweed. So I don't think this is going to be the final image for the colours, because I think I can see some more rocks further down, so I'd like to get some rocks in. So I'm going to try those. But I have come and I've had a look at this and I've taken a shot or two. But I'll just show you what I'm working on. So a bit like this previous image, seaweed's down in the kind of rule of thirds. Don't forget, don't always stick to the rule of thirds, but it happens to work quite nicely on this. The reflection on that sand is amazing. So I'm just going to take a reading there, a little bit overexposed. How does that look? How does that look to you? Does it look all right? Looks pretty good. Looks pretty decent. When I was up overexposed there, I really liked I'm getting a little bit of sun shining across the end of my lens, so I'm just going to move my lens hood around a bit. I quite liked it when it was, I don't know, does it look weird? It probably turned into a nothing shot, that, but something just attracted me to that. I don't know why am I attracted to that really out of overexposed shot? I don't know. Anyway, it might work into something, it might not. One thing you have to be careful of, and it was an issue there, when you're taking photographs, when the sun's at kind of an acute angle to your lens, is the sun shining across the end of your lens. That's what you've got the lens hood for, and it can kind of essentially ruin the image. So just be careful of that. Now you've probably seen these lens hoods, got those kind of odd shapes. I just twisted it a little bit on its axis to give me a bit more protection. But anyway, I'm gonna go and try out those rocks and see what it's like. Okay, so I'm at these rocks. I thought it was just, I don't think I've done this before. I thought I'd just take you through the process of when I've obviously walked along here with my camera. I put my tripod on the sand, but I thought I'd take you through the process of how I set up and what I do before I even start to kind of take images. So bear with me because I might have to swap my hands a little bit, but hopefully this is useful. So you can see from the start my camera's a bit cockeyed, so I'll try and do this as best I can. I use these spirit levels to try and get kind of a fair idea of if things are straight or not. But then what I actually do is go to live view, and if we're looking at live view now, the spirit levels can be a little bit deceptive. So go to live view, see this rule of thirds line. I'll just drop that down onto the horizon, and I don't know if you can see that. It's clearly not straight. So I'll just strain that out on the horizon and lock that off. So that's now locked off straight. So that's the first thing I do. I know that's straight on the horizon. And now what I'm looking at is this row of seaweed to that rock and then over to the mountains. So I'll lighten it so you can see what I'm doing. Go the wrong way. That I need to on the rule of thirds. So I just swivel my composition round. I think that's quite nice. Lock that off. And then I obviously don't want the image pointing down at the moment. It's kind of pointing down at the sand, but it was there because I had my horizon leveled out. So just rock back a bit, and you might be able to, hopefully you can see, in fact I'll zoom a little bit. I've got that, sorry, so I've got the rule of thirds intersection there, so that bit of seaweed kind of does a bit of an L shape. Hopefully that makes sense. Then what I'll do, switch to automatic focus. I'm going to focus on the seaweed, so I've got my point, focus on the seaweed. There, it's focused. Lock to manual focus, so that won't move now. And now obviously the image is overexposed. I'm going to put my my image box in the center there, because I think that's probably about mid-range. See, it's overexposed. Just drop it down. Camera's saying that's about right level exposure, but I'm going to go just a little bit up, and there we go. And then I can start taking images. And now what I'm waiting for is maybe a wave or two just to come in and maybe make contact with that. Would be perfect if it makes contact with that seaweed. So there's one, just about making contact. So I've taken that image. Next one. just a question of waiting for the right wave. Tide's on the way out, so I've got to be relatively quick, because as the tide goes out, obviously less waves are going to hit that. So hopefully that explains kind of the setup process. I'm going to take some images now with the waves coming up. But yeah, quite pleased with the composition. Everything looks okay. So just a matter of timing now. I've come back along the beach almost to the bit I started. So I think the first time I spoke to you I was about kind of 10 feet away. The reason being is I really liked those rocks, but actually this reflection on the beach is too good an opportunity to miss. If I'm going to get some good colours in the sky, wanted to get the reflection. I can do rocks with the surf almost any time, but this reflection, and I've actually come to this bit, I hope this shows up on the GoPro, but there's ripples in the sand, and they're just catching the last bit of the sun on the edge of those ripples. So I've gone with a portrait orientation. I'll brighten it so you can see what I'm playing at. But I've got the ripples here in the foreground, and then obviously the mountains in the distance. And I'm underexposing because I just want to pick out in this sand. I just want to pick out the highlights of that sun. So underexposing quite a bit. But I'm hoping that works. There's nice clouds, formations in the sky. A couple of people walking along, and ooh, quite a lot of crab shells. So I might take one or two more here, and then the sun, I'll just check how long I've got left. About 20 minutes before the sun hits the horizon. So I might take one or two more here, and then just run round wildly on the beach looking for some good reflections, because I'm hoping to get some nice colour in those clouds as the sun pops down for the night. Almost at the point of no return. I'll point you around to the sun, hope it doesn't blind you. Almost touching the horizon, and just a bit to the left of Anglesey and Holyhead. You won't be able to see on the GoPro, but almost there. Nice clouds in the sky, a little bit of colour, and I'm back using the seaweed as some foreground interest. I don't think it's going to turn into one of those boom sunsets because there's not enough cloud cover, and there's a bit of cloud on the horizon, but it's lovely. It's kind of a beautiful warm kind of colour in the sky, so I'm pretty pleased, and the reflection is fabulous. So I just thought I'd share the last moments with you. I'll show you what kind of this final bit I've been working on. So it's quite nice, a little bit of clouds. I'll brighten it so you can see the composition. I've moved the seaweed to the kind of bottom right, but pretty nice, pretty nice. So I'm going to hang around a little bit longer for once the sun's gone down, see if there's any nice bit of colour in the sky. I did think about taking some images that way, but don't really like shooting towards the sun if there's nothing kind of interest in the foreground. So thought better of it. But probably another few minutes, and that'll probably be it, unless, as I say, once the sun goes down, we get some spectacular sun, some spectacular colour. Sun is down. Just went down over the horizon a couple of minutes ago. I don't think we're going to get any. It's quite nice at the moment, but I think the colours will be a bit muted. There's some nice colours. There's a hint of pink, so it might get a little bit, but not sure it will be anything to photograph. But it's beautiful to look at. Don't think we're going to get any over that way. So that'll be the end of the film. So I hope you enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. Back on a beach, great weather, great sunset, and hopefully some great compositions and some nice photographs, but time will tell. So I just wanted to say thanks again for watching. Do leave any comments below. And one thing, quite a few people have said, why don't you have more subscribers? Now I'm over 500, which is fantastic, but I guess the key is getting more people to see my channel in the first place. So if you've got any ideas about how I can get more people to see my channel, because it'd be great to build an even bigger community, let me know. Any advice or hints or tips, greatly appreciated. But I hope you've enjoyed this trip to this part of Wales. It's about a 180-mile round trip for me, and it's just gone 9:30 in the evening, so I'll probably be home about 11:30. So I'm going to pack up and head off, and I'll see you again soon.